Wanted to do a quick how-to for just some simple rigging, crimping. Here's some of the tools that I carry with me. Um, I have a bigger crimper, but I keep these, in the toolbox when I go sailing. I keep them in the car in case I got to do a repair. Cutters, the calipers so I can measure the crimp, the crimpers, and then I have some boxes. I have some Walmart hobby boxes. I keep different sizes. Typically, you got 16, 3/32, and then sometimes I use the eyelets, sometimes I don't. But here's an example. This is an area where if this thing gets frayed, breaks, it's very expensive to buy the whole thing, and a lot of times you can just replace, um, the wire rope with some existing wire rope. Here's another example where you might have on the Star. I have quite a few of these for the backstays, and they get frayed over you can see here, and then you'll cut yourself, and to replace the whole thing is very difficult. It's just easier to just crimp. A lot of people at the club have equipment. I have this equipment for doing simple crimps, but some people I know have some much bigger stuff. Here's another example. If you had to rework this, you'd have to cut that. And then if you don't have crimping equipment, it can be very expensive to start replacing that stuff. Here's an example. This is 3/32, and these calipers will have that. All these tools will be in the description. Just a suggestion. These are what I use, and they're okay. So I measured it, and this has got fractions, so it's 3/32. So I know which of the crimping ferrules to use. So I keep a lot of this wire rope, just some pieces, 3/32, 16th, and 8th, just in case. Oh, here's what I bought. I like these, the copper ones. They're annealed. They grip really well, and you don't have as much, electrolysis, but the aluminum ones are fine too. So I start by feeding one on, and here I'm just going to show you if I had to cut it, and let's say it was frayed. This takes two hands. These cutters are pretty good. So I got to get on this. I'm sitting there trying to do this, and then bang, there it goes. It gives you a nice clean cut. It's a lot easier to work with, but be careful. This stuff, it's very sharp. So I use two, and a lot of the rigging people say, oh, you only need one, and they're correct, but my crimps are so bad. I figure, oh, here's the eyelet. I'm trying to remember the technical name for these, but I get them on Amazon, and I get different sizes. I'm reaching in a box with it to get a bigger one. Depends on what I'm doing, what it's going to go to. This is more like for 1/8 inch. This is for 3/32. You can see the size difference. But it's just handy to have them in a little box, and just in case you need them. So this is the fiddly part. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I kind of wing it. Some people will. I should have had a pair of needle nose. Some people use vice grips. I've done vice grips, and there I'm trying to get the first one in. You want to be careful not to bugger up that end, or you're going to have trouble with the second one. So I get the second one in there. I get it all set up, and then usually I take a pair of needle nose, and I didn't have a pair handy, so I just tried to wing it. And then I push it up, and then I squeeze it and push it up, and squeeze it and push it up. Sometimes it goes really easy, sometimes it's a little bit fiddly. And if you're standing up, it's a lot easier, but I'm going to jump ahead and to get all that set up and get your crimp set up, it can be quite fiddly. I usually do it on a wooden bench, where I do it standing up so I can get some leverage. And my crimps aren't the best. So you guys can comment on how bad that is. That's why I do two of them, but Just a word of caution. I do not do this for anything that might cause a mast to fall down or that's, safety. On my Star and on the 470, there is a bunch of little wire rope rigging going on for control lines all over the place, especially on the Star. So they get frayed, they get boogered up, and so you're doing this all the time because it's a lot easier to run like 16-inch wire rope and then run your blocks than it is to try to find some line, and it lasts longer. So again, I'm getting set up here. They have benchtop ones, but this is just once in a while. And then you get a good squeeze. And I left a little bit of wire rope coming out the back. I don't recommend you do that because it's something to get cut on, but I would tape over that. And there you go. I hope this helps. This is for people that are just getting into this and you're trying to figure this out. Please subscribe, and I'll keep the videos coming.